What's going on, guys? Marcus Crockett back with another video. So really quick, like owning a commercial cleaning business, it doesn't really have to be hard. I think a lot of the times we make it harder than what it has to be. So in a minute, I'm going to tell you not something that I would change if I can go back, but I'm going to tell you what I would have started doing a whole lot sooner. But before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to everybody who's joined our appointment setting program. Guys, keep an eye on your email because I promise you those emails will be coming fast. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. So with all that said, let's get into it. So the one thing that I would change, or not necessarily change, but do a lot sooner, is I would create systems a lot sooner. Now, when I first started off, and I would talk to people who didn't really give me like a full breakdown on, what is a system? What is systems? Systems is like a vague word. It can mean a lot of different things depending on where you're applying it to. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about when I would say that I would apply systems a lot sooner. So as we are right now in my company, I probably work maybe 5 hours a week. Right? I probably work about 5 hours a week in the business, and that's just doing the things that I like to do. I have a lot more time outside of, my commercial cleaning business that allows me to do all of these other things, right? Coaching, YouTube, just spending more time with my family, and then other little projects and things that I'm invested in right now. But back to the point, like I spent about 5 hours a week, and it wasn't always like that. Like I remember there were times when I would work 12, 14, 16-hour days sometimes in the beginning, just trying to get things figured out. So it goes back to how am I able to really take myself outside of being in the position where I'm constantly having to work in my business. And the fastest way or the best way for me to be able to do that was to be able to create systems, right? There was this book that I had read, this was years ago. And the book really didn't apply to commercial cleaning, but it applied to business overall and the way that I wanted my life to be shaped as an entrepreneur. The book was called The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, okay? If you're interested in the book, I'll go ahead and leave it in the first comment. But this book was basically, it was a book on systems, really. On systems on a way, it was a book really on creating your lifestyle and living how you want to live, but the only way you're able to do that is based on the systems that you set up. So how does all of that apply to to commercial cleaning, and what does a system look like in commercial cleaning? Well, let me give you a quick example. So you would take a bigger, not necessarily a bigger problem, but you would take a bigger task, right? And your job as the owner is to break that task down into bite-sized pieces and be able to put it out on paper or on video or explain it to your staff in a digestible way so that not only they understand it, but they'll also have a resource where they can come back to it. In business, usually these are just called SOPs, and these are, standard operating procedures, specific ways on how to do certain things. So let me give you an example. If we're going to go in and we're going to clean, let's say just something simple like the bathroom, okay? The bathroom, just to give you a quick look on what our SOPs look like when it comes to the bathroom. Bathrooms are clean, or most places are clean, from top to bottom and then from inside out, right? So what does that mean? So when you go into the restroom, we're going to start from the top to the bottom. So that means that they're going to go out, they're going to get their dusters, they're going to dust all the high corners, they're going to dust the light fixtures, the vents, they're going to make sure that all of those things are dusted. We're doing that because any of the heavy dust that's up there is all going to fall to the bottom, and we make sure that we sweep and mop last, right? So we go in, we take care of all of the high dusting, and then they'll spray all of the chemical all over let's say the sinks, right? The sinks and the countertops. Well, while the dwell time, and the dwell time is the amount of time that it takes for the chemical to work, while it's doing its job, while it's working. And I think our dwell time on the chemical is about 5 minutes for the restroom. So you have that 5-minute window. So rather than just stand around, they spray the chemical, and now they're changing out the soaps. They're changing out the hand towels. They're changing all of the toiletries that go in that section. So once all of that's changed out, then we'll go back to the inside out part. So they start on the inside of the sink, and then they work their way out. And then they're cleaning the countertops, and the last thing that they're going to do is go ahead and make sure that they do all of the shine work. So any of the stainless steel or chrome that's, maybe the sink handles or paper towel dispenser, we're going to make sure that those things are all shined up and ready to go. But the bathroom still isn't clean. They got to go, and now they got to do the toilets, right? And mind you, in our SOPs, all of our towels are color coordinated specifically for this one reason that I'm going to get to in a minute. But they go and they'll do the same. They'll repeat the process just on the toilets. They spray all the toilets. They'll go ahead and depending on the schedule, they may spray down the partitions. And while the dwell time is working on the toilets, they're changing out all the toilet papers. They're changing out the seat liners. They're changing out any sanitary bags if they're in the women's restroom, okay? And then once that's done, they start on the inside of the toilet, make sure they clean that, and then they work their way out. And they do that for each and every toilet. Once that's done, they'll go in, they'll do the sweeping or the vacuuming, and then finally they're going to mop, and they're going to start in the very far corner of the restroom and mop their way all the way out of the restroom. Put the sign there, and then they'll move on to the next task. Oh, before I forget, so the reason why we do the color-coded microfiber towels, we do that for two specific reasons. One, so we don't get caught up. I don't want my cleaners to get confused and thinking that, maybe we use this towel, maybe we didn't use the towel. Each and every color on our towel system has a purpose. So we may use reds for toilets, blue for mirrors, so on and so forth, right? And then also too, I never want to be in a position where the customer is looking at the camera and they think like, wait a minute, they just used that towel in the restroom. Now they're using it in the kitchen. So we make sure that each and every one of our towels is color coded just to avoid any problems or to avoid cross-contamination. What I just explained to you is a snapshot into what our SOPs look like for the restroom, okay? So that's how it would look for the restroom. And the reason why I have to break it down into bite-sized pieces is because, one, I don't want to have to come and re-explain this every time that, we bring someone new in, right? One, I don't want to have to re-explain it. Two, I created a manual so that I can be able to pull anyone off the street. Granted, they've been trained and they've gone through our background process and that whole nine, and be able to put them in. And as long as they can read and follow simple directions, they can go in and give us the consistency that my customers are used to. The same way McDonald's can put someone on the fry machine who's never, made fries before and have that same level of consistency. This is just a snapshot of what a system would look like. And there, for each part of the business, whether it's the kitchen, whether it's the keys, whether it's the alarm codes, each part has its own separate set of procedures, right? And then once you get it to a position where you've built it large enough, you package everything together, and these are your standard operating procedures, okay? This is how I'm able to step away from the day-to-day task and not really have to worry about. I check my email maybe once or twice. I know when all the checks are coming in. I know when I have to make payroll. Guys, I really don't work that hard in my business anymore. When I was first starting, it was hard for me to see myself being where I'm at right now. It took a lot of work. But if you're in a position where it's like, I don't think that I can get there, or it's a lot harder. I feel like it's almost impossible. If you're feeling that way, I promise you, it's really not. It's not that hard. You're gonna have to make definitely some tough decisions. You're gonna have to make some investments, right? But that's perfectly fine as long as you are moving strategically and decisive in how you want to grow your business and shaping your business really around the type of lifestyle that you want. Any of this stuff is possible, right? I'm not an anomaly, right? There's lots of people out here who's doing business just as well as I am and even better than I am. But the whole point is that I wanted my business to be in a position where I could just work on it and not really work in it. And the best way to be able to do that is to implement good systems and make it so that it's digestible for anyone coming in, that they'll be able to come in, pick it up, and keep your phone from ringing, keep emails and complaints from happening. So guys, that is it for today's video. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Right? Go ahead and leave something in the comments. Guys, like I say, in the game of business, spectators are only going to watch, but hustlers get involved so they can win. Guys, I'm always dropping jewels. Just make sure you're in position to pick them up. You do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, my name is Marcus Crockett. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.